Let's podcast. Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovias. We are back inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh, thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, get everything you need to the cloud, just like we get everything we need for this studio. We did not steal the Bill Belichick sign. That is not something we did.
No.
However, we did go to ACC Hospitality and we took yet another acrylic. Although I got to say, Joe, this one says accomplished. We had to get it because it said accomplished greatness on it.
Right.
I'm a little disappointed that the accomplished greatness acrylic that sits on the bar tops of ACC Hospitality are not of the same quality of the ones that we have acquired in the past with like the laser etching, right? Like you can see behind me here in Eford Studios. You can see the ACC. I'm doing the millennial point. We never caught up with our guy Kent Sports 24 out in Charlotte. You can see the ACC basketball one. You can see the football. You can see the tip-off one. Those are like etched. I think they just put some stickers on this one. I'm a little slightly disappointed.
The craftsmanship.
Did you also take a new doormat?
I did. Part of the golf raffle.
Oh, we're going to raffle that bad boy off?
Yeah, that one's clean. It's just a football.
It's just a football?
With the letters ACC.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
It's nice.
I love that. So all of our ACC kickoff stuff from last week lives on YouTube and on podcasts. A lot of stuff that you might have missed if you didn't listen to it. We threw a lot at you. Totally understand. And that's what ACC kickoff is about. It is just wall to wall. You got a press conference, somebody sitting down, you're catching up with folks, you're networking, you're getting gossip about who's going where. And that's where we're going to start today. Because a lot of y'all sent me social media posts or emails or commented that we didn't really spend any time talking about the Inside Carolina report that UNC was looking at the SEC and preparing an exit plan. By the time we get to today, which is Monday, July 28th, all I got to do is log on to YouTube and see how the aggregation machine works. Or I can go to On3 or wherever and see how the aggregation machine works. There is what Greg Barnes and Adam Smith at Inside Carolina were talking about. And then there's what ends up happening at this point every summer when we talk about college realignment and who's going where and all the fantasy scenarios. If this were wrestling, the fantasy bookings that take place as we start talking about college realignment. So let's go ahead and start with what Greg Barnes actually wrote about at Inside Carolina. And the headline is, ACC settlement is more concession than compromise. Subheadline, the settlement agreement between the ACC and Clemson was a win for North Carolina and its conference membership counterparts. That right there, a win for North Carolina, is something that you and I are in complete agreement with when it comes to where things are going with the ACC and how we feel North Carolina is positioned. Of all these teams that want to potentially go to the SEC or the Big Ten, North Carolina is the top dog, right? I think we can all agree there.
Yes.
They're the top brand.
There's Notre Dame, then there's North Carolina.
Okay. Clemson and Florida State, for a variety of reasons we can get into, it doesn't seem as a lock. All right. But North Carolina certainly is. There's two interesting things that came out between Adam Smith and Greg Barnes. The first one is that Greg and Inside Carolina did a very, very good job of highlighting what it's going to take to leave. Not that they're going to leave, but just what it's going to take to leave, and how with the grant of rights essentially going away. Quick reminder what the grant of rights is. I feel like we need a Schoolhouse Rock with a little, like instead of Bill, we've got Grant our rights, and he's got little hands.
Grant use.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. And he's got little hands, and he's always depressed because why does everybody want to tear me up? He's sitting there on the steps next to the old well, like, guys, haven't we been good for you? Haven't we secured things for you? But now you want to tear me up and you want to go to the SEC, right? So poor Grant, right? So it used to be that if you decided to leave the ACC and you paid him the exit fee, the ACC was like, cool, thanks for the money. And we also get your TV money all the way through 2036.
Correct.
In this new arrangement, by the time you get to the 2030-2031 season, not only does the buyout drop to $75 million, you also get to keep your television rights wherever you go. this has been something that we have talked about for a very long time, that 2030, 2031 is like the great inflection point for the future of college athletics. This ties into that. And it's something that you and I tried to talk about with Jim Phillips, which will air a clip of our conversation with him from last week that I think is important to all this conversation, that it's not just the ACC and its own grant of rights that are in play. It's the entirety of college football, as you see the SEC, the Big Ten, NFL TV rights, the college football playoff. All these rights are coming up in a very short window of time around 2030. And that can completely upend everything that we're doing. So the thought that I had initially was, well, maybe the compromise here is that, fine, let's just be flexible because we don't know where things are going to go in 2030. And that was a compromise that the ACC was willing to take. The other compromise I think the ACC was willing to take, specifically to Florida State and Clemson, I think you and I agree on this. Okay, cool. We've made it easier for you to leave. Where are you going to go? Right? Do you get the sense that Florida State and Clemson have a landing spot in 2030, 2031?
I don't think Clemson and Florida State have the same choice that Carolina does. I think Carolina ultimately is the one that, as you mentioned, there's Notre Dame, then there's Carolina. I think they're going to be the ones who get to choose. The other ones will be, the deck chairs will scramble and everyone will try to go. And once those chairs start spinning, don't get me wrong, Clemson and Florida State are very attractive brands football-wise. There's no doubt about that. The real question here for North Carolina is, do you want to be, without going Colin Cowherd, this is the family business. This is the super successful restaurant that you've had for 3 generations, and you broke all of the odds that you made it to the 3rd generation. You had 3 competent generations of leadership, and somehow your restaurant still made it. And you're sitting here and you're going, I could still make money at this restaurant. We could still make a little bit of money. I mean, we have a good living at this restaurant. We could be okay at this restaurant.
Yeah.
But the thing is, am I going to be the one who kills the family name and joins the bigger boat, jumps to a bigger operation? Because make no mistake, make zero mistake, North Carolina was synonymous with the ACC.
Yeah.
North Carolina ran the ACC. Everett Case created the ACC. North Carolina ran the ACC, was the identity of the ACC, right down to from Frank McGuire to Dean Smith to John Swofford becoming, fulfilling the prophecy and becoming the commissioner of the ACC and moving the ACC into the modern era. So the question for Carolina, to me, isn't necessarily a financial one. They'll figure that shit out.
Yeah.
I got faith. Hey, Steve Newmark, we met him. He's smart.
Brief conversation
He's
with him,
smart. He's a smart guy.
Well,
and not that Bubba's not a smart guy. They're both really smart guys. I think they're positioned well. But this really does come down to, are you going to be the one who pulls the plug on this thing and says, you know what? We've had an unbelievable run. This conference has been our identity. We have been this conference. We have run this conference. But it's in our best financial interest to moving forward to make a different business decision. I think they have less of a loyalty pull now. There's less of a nostalgia pull. There's less of a,
because what's the ACC now?
Exactly. As you figured out on Tuesday, where we're sitting there and Andrew Luck and Ron Rivera running around. So that I'm not saying they owe anybody anything. I'm just saying they're still going to, got to remember with Carolina, they're still an old guard, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still going to be an old guard that says, now, wait a second. And I do think what Jim has done with this compromise, he really has NFLized the ACC.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they went there willingly. There was some kicking and screaming. Obviously, there was some litigation. I think the way that they have changed their mathematical equation is more along the lines of a professional operation. And I think some of these other conferences, I'm looking at the SEC right now, because remember, the SEC is the only one who doesn't have partial members or, equal payouts.
Prorated.
Right? Oregon, Washington are getting a different number. Maryland and Rutgers forever in the Big Ten got a different number.
Before they became whole. Yeah.
Right? So I think those conferences, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Penn States, are going to look at the ACC's deal and say, now, wait a second. What's up with this fucking communism? What's up with this socialism? I think the SEC, particularly if they get passed, they're at 18 right now, 16 right now. They're at 16.
Yeah.
I think once you push that past that point, They're already looking at Mississippi State like, why are we still carrying you?
So before we run that
Vanderbilt,
before we run that part of the conversation with Jim Phillips that we had last week, which hits on all those things and kind of lays out what he sees where things are going. You use the word position. So to tie up that thread and also explore some other layers that go with it. That's where the other part of the Inside Carolina reporting is at least interesting. All they said was position. The news item that came out of it was that the position that North Carolina wants to be in is to join the SEC. You and I have always talked about the Big Ten.
And that's old thinking because of Jim Delaney. Played basketball for Dean Smith, was the commissioner of the Big Ten.
When I saw Greg at ACC Kickoff, I said, SEC, no mention of the Big Ten. He goes, no, they want to be in the SEC. That's what they're positioning themselves for. Okay, fine. You want to position yourself for that.
And I'll tell you what, the SEC wants them.
They've always wanted
for the reason I've told you before.
And this is another thing where
you ain't that good in football.
Well, there is that. You're
going to be a mark in football.
Yeah, there is that aspect of it. But what I find interesting is this idea of the SEC or the Big Ten is also old news. I mean, how many times have we talked to Holden Thorpe and he always drops the little nuggets of like, yeah, I would have conversations with other presidents in the SEC. And essentially, North Carolina's had a standing invitation to the SEC for a very long time. It's just that grant of rights deals, TV deals, and all that kind of stuff make it very difficult to make it work. Plus, things have been pretty good for North Carolina and the ACC for all the reasons that you just laid out as a founding member and things like that. So this is going to go in two directions. What North Carolina is doing with Bubba Cunningham transitioning out as AD and Steve Newmark coming in as the new AD, North Carolina is looking at every avenue possible to modernize itself and be in position to be a player in whatever is happening next. That is not new news. That has been abundantly clear for a couple of years now with the machinations behind the scenes with Bubba, Lee Roberts, the chancellor, and now the new AD that's come in there. They are positioning themselves for whatever is next, as they should. That's what they should be doing. That is not news. That is not something that should be aggregated as though UNC is getting ready to leave for the SEC in the next couple of years, because there's some process to that. But here's the part that I'm going to find interesting, and here's the part that we do not know the answer to. And here is Jim Phillips talking about the compromises that were made and reconfiguring how revenue is paid out, I should say, and how schools like North Carolina, who fought for this, will benefit. And you start to get into the weighing of options of you're making more money, you're closing the gap. You're never going to close it as a member of the ACC, but you also have more access to win in the ACC, to get to a college football playoff or whatever it might be. So here's Phillips kind of hinting around the future of these deals, and he's not exactly somebody, he is not sounding like a guy who believes that the ACC is going to be the only one who does this in the next couple of years.
The lawsuit that was settled, there was a compromise there. You mentioned those success initiatives. You mentioned the viewership. You mentioned it feels like a model. You guys are the first in there. It feels like one that I think will be copied. So the headline was you lost because you settled, right? So when you look at the headline, you think, well, they lost. But if you actually look at some of the details in there, it kind of feels like these are some things. Sure, you came off of the grant of rights. That's fine. But I feel like you also got things in return that I feel like could be a successful model moving forward for you.
I agree. I wouldn't have done that, and I wouldn't have pushed to do that unless I felt that was the right thing. You two are very, I think, forward-thinking as it relates to the NCAA. I just know that over the 5 years, right?
Sure.
And we may not have agreed on every issue, but you guys have always kind of looked ahead at that modernization, which I think is an appropriate word. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel what we did from a revenue standpoint. Does it fit every league? It doesn't fit every league. But when you just look at the examples we have, and the only example we can really take away is professional sports, right? Those markets are different. And the revenues generated by those markets are different.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
it's a reality.
It is the reality. But what I'm again, just very proud of is that didn't help everybody in the league necessarily when we went to the viewership piece of it. But all of our schools in the league felt like that was a really good place to get to, a compromise and the rest. I do agree with you 100% that this will not be the first and only move in that direction.
Makes sense.
That you're going to see it as we go forward.
And I know it's Clemson and Florida State, but it gives any team with success. I know Georgia Tech is one that you may not think of, but between their Ireland game and their Georgia game last year,
those are good numbers.
They put up some big numbers, and
I think they had Notre Dame last year too, didn't they?
And I get it. It's not SEC money, but if you actually look at the money that you distributed last year, you're closing that gap. I mean, you're never going to completely close it, but it's not the fear mongering that maybe we got 2 or 3 years ago when those lawsuits were settled. That has to give you a peace of mind. Because I thought you made a really smart move last year. You rolled out those numbers, maybe specifically for the Big 12 to let people know, hey,
top 3, I think
here are the real numbers.
Yesterday.
And also from the expansion move. Hey, I was critical of adding Stanford and Cal and SMU all the way. I was critical of that. But I thought you were smart to use those numbers. I feel like those numbers are in your favor right now with the recent events.
I agree. We want to continue to ascend to the highest level we can in the ACC. And just because there's a gap, I don't want there to be a rationalization that we shouldn't perform at that level. And our schools don't feel that way.
Yeah.
They're trying to be creative on their own campuses, and I've tried to take the same kind of path forward from a creativity in how we are looking at those types of things, and to do some things that haven't been done before, and we have done that. And as we've talked about in our past sessions, this league is really a good league. It really is, and it got bruised during that time.
Sure.
And that's okay. That's all right. But you come out of it, and what I was trying to state yesterday, and will continue to state, is that we're healthy. We're in really good position to take another step forward, and that starts here in football with these media days, and for us to have even greater success on the football field as it relates to winning national championships, getting more teams in the CFP.
Hey, you got 2 teams in last
Absolutely.
year. How many people thought you were to get 2 teams in last year?
And progression
Could have had 3.
within the CFP and the rest of it. So I feel really good about where we find ourselves today.
All right, so that was Jim Phillips with us last week at ACC Kickoff. As always, we appreciate the time that Phillips makes for us at these events. Very, very busy, and I wish we had more time to explore topics like that, but it is what it is. But let's follow this, okay? Let's get back to North Carolina and positioning itself for whatever's next. Let's say North Carolina, with the investment that they've made into football, specifically with Bill Belichick, let's say that whatever happens with Hubert Davis now or in the future, they hit on all those success initiatives along with everything else. They're on TV more. Bill Belichick's bringing in eyeballs. They're checking off all the things that they wanted, and they're getting more money. Is it enough to stay happy in the ACC by the time they get to 2030, when they have to let the ACC know by June 1, hey, we're going to be out of here on June 30th, 2031? Is it going to be enough?
I'm super proud of this restaurant analogy. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bigger corporation come in and offer you a whole lot more money, but it's going to be less control.
Yeah.
And your cut's going to be less.
Maybe.
Back in the day, no, your cut as a relative to you controlling everything.
Yeah.
When you sell out to a corporation, you no longer control everything.
That's fair.
Okay. So two numbers that came out last week that kind of flew under my radar and were sent to me by a friend of mine. Now, Brian Murphy had the budget proposals for 25-26.
Oh, they're astronomical
for North Carolina and for NC State. Now, I want you to keep in mind, 20-25 years ago, the difference in budget between NC State and North Carolina would have been a couple $1 million, if that. 1, 2 mil. When I say a couple, 1 or 2 million, 5 million, maybe 10.
Yeah.
The proposed budget under this new Bill Belichick initiative, let's call it the football initiative of North Carolina, NC State's proposed budget to the state, which obviously has to be approved. There's taxpayer money. $124.3 million. Huh. And yes, I know they don't use taxpayer money, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but if they don't use your taxpayer money on the athletics, that means they're using it somewhere else. So yes, please spare me that argument from 19, whatever. No, NC State's number, 124.3. North Carolina's number, with every Belichick and Lombardi and everybody else on the payroll, 184.5.
That's substantial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're not getting into 2+ with Texas and Ohio State quite yet, but the $60 million difference between North Carolina NC State. I mean, that's, and I'm not saying that as a bad one. I'm not like, oh my God, Carolina's so greedy. I'm saying that like in part, look at Carolina stepping up, as we said, since the beginning of this decision to go to Belichick. And the big question about NC State, where are they going to be football commitment wise? We've seen them move all in on basketball. We have with Will Wade and his staff and their payroll coming, their payroll for this coming year.
Yeah.
What we haven't seen is the football side of this. And there's where you see that $60 million discrepancy in their budget proposal.
Yeah, because they know that football is the thing that is the main attraction for television, which gets us to the final piece of all of this. And this is where we get into the great unknown. And I'm only bringing this up to get y'all to think about these things. This is not me saying this is exactly how it's going to play out. I'm simply pointing out that nobody in our industry knows where things are going. So think of all the changes that have happened in the last 5 years. Think of your consumption habits in the last 5 years and how rapidly they have changed. Now, think about how much can happen between now and 2030 in the world of television. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, we've already seen some massive changes on the horizon. Look at ESPN. There are two key things about ESPN, which is crucial to the SEC and how they go about these things that you have to keep an eye on. After a couple of years of dancing around it, it looks like it's finally going to happen, that the ESPN brand is going to consume the NFL network.
Okay.
ESPN will bring on all the NFL network assets, and the NFL is going to get a 10% equity stake in what's happening at ESPN.
Okay, this is not great for our friends at the NFL network then who work there.
No, it's not. It's also not good for our friends who work at ESPN
right
on the NFL side, because when you do this merger kind of stuff, you get redundancy. Somebody's going to have to go, right? But the fact that they're getting into bed literally with the NFL shows you something that we've all recognized about ESPN. They care about one sport and really one sport only. That's the NFL. It's the thing that guarantees ratings. It drives them. The minute it hits July 4th, it's like, all right, we're football all the time. It's mostly football all the time anyway. There's also a report, or at least an analyst's from, I forgot was it Rich Greenberg? Was it, I forgot the name of the analyst group, but it's a group of TV industry analysts that have expressed that things are lining up for Disney to spin off ESPN and ABC. Like you've seen this with Comcast, where they're just moving on from their linear cable channels because it just doesn't make them as much money anymore. They see where it's going. It's falling off the cliff. So ESPN might not even be owned by Disney by the time we get to 2030. How does that change the economics? Is a gambling company going to come pick it up? Is ESPN going to be owned by leagues? Because remember, it's one thing that
now they're owned by a league if they're about to.
Yeah. So, but this is not alone. The NFL is not the only one. There was a report a year or so ago that Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, has been kind of doling out this idea that, hey, man, the NFL can have its equity stake in us. The NBA can have an equity stake with us. Is the SEC going to do that? Do they have enough money to be like, all right, well, now we're going to buy a part of ESPN so that we can control what we do? So there's a lot of television changes on the horizon. And then, of course, there's your restaurant analogy, which is the thing that gets back to our Jim Phillips conversation, and we'll close on this. At some point, the big dogs in the SEC and the Big Ten are going to look at what the ACC has done with the success initiatives, and they're going to have a bright idea and go, well, wait a minute. Why is Vanderbilt getting as much money as Georgia? Why is Indiana getting as much money as Ohio State? Why is Illinois getting as much money as Ohio State, Michigan, et cetera, right? And there's going to be contraction. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is that those teams that are there to be beaten,
you're going to take a pay cut.
You're going to take a pay cut to continue to get beaten, because you know that no matter how many times Kirk Herbstreit can go on an ESPN desk and say, this is a different Vanderbilt team. Nah, they're still Vanderbilt, and they have one role, and that is to be competitive enough, but also there to be beaten. And maybe that's where North Carolina's role is. If they're comfortable with that, because they have to get on with whatever is next, so be it. That's a decision they have to make.
You know, this is more of your bag with Dimitri than mine, but do you know who really wasn't all that happy last year with how their television deal worked out?
Who?
I believe it was both NBC and CBS with the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because
time
where
slots.
they are and no, it's not the time slots.
Time slots were better. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember in the Big Ten, after the first month of the season, they don't want to play at night. They like to play during the day, which is kind of weird. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
That's why big noon kickoff is a thing.
But in their pecking order, both of them, they ended up with a lot of Northwestern Nebraska games. They ended up with a lot of Minnesota Purdue games.
Hey,
they ended up with a lot of Rutgers UCLA, where you're like, this is not what we paid all that money for.
There's already, you mentioned NBC, there's already buyer's remorse in that they've kicked around the idea of reviving the NBC Sports Network. Remember, they killed off NBC Sports Network 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And because they just dumped a bunch of money to the NBA and they've got Peacock and all that kind of stuff, they're like, well, crap, how are we going to make all this investment work? Do we have to revive a linear channel, even though we know that's not going anywhere? There is a reevaluation of a lot of properties taking place right now. Look at ESPN with Major League Baseball, right? Look at Apple finally allowing MLS to reveal some numbers. They ain't great, right? F1 thought they were going to just be drinking from the money fountain because they've had a little period of success. And ESPN Disney has gone back to them and said, yeah, love you guys, but we don't think you're worth this much. So now they're trying to go out to all these tech companies. But tech companies are interested in one thing and one thing only, the NFL. That's the thing they really want. That's what Netflix wants to invest in. That's what Amazon wants to invest in. There's a reason why the NFL is preparing an 18-game schedule to create even more television packages, right down to a European game television package. So you see what I'm getting at here? There is going to be a great reevaluation of a lot of these sports properties that have already happened. And I'm only bringing this up to caution people that the money you think is going to be there in 2030 might not be as great as you think. And there's going to be some budgeting that takes place that benefits the big dogs and those underneath, or as Ross Martin would say, big hitters only. And you have to ask yourself, if you're North Carolina, if you go to the SEC, are you truly a big hitter? Or are you just there to basically fill out their portfolio? You become an asset. Like, to your point, you're not necessarily calling shots.
No, you're not even coming close to calling the shots when you go there. In fairness, I think we've always kind of aligned them with the Big Ten because of academics and because
Jim
of
Delaney
fit and all these other things. I actually think they would be a better fit in the Big Ten than they would be in the SEC.
Agree.
But I can understand why they would. I understand the appeal of the SEC to them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And people can go back, just go look up Holden Thorpe, our conversations with him on the podcast. And he's talked about those types of things. And really, it's been an ongoing conversation for damn near 20 years.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping is brought to you by Enovana. You can check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
We are running out of time with things. I believe this version of housekeeping is essentially act now before it goes away. First and foremost, Sports Podcast Festival. Less than a month away. August 23rd, the Rialto. We're going to be there. Split Zone Duo is going to be there. We're working on some things to bring a big in headliner, right? Maybe Will Wade shows up because of the Stephen Gottfried connection. We shall see. There's only one way to find out. That's the go. And it's August 23rd, week 0, therialto.com. We also have night 0 at Bond Brothers East Side in Cary, where our friends Michael Felder, Matt Brown are going to be there. We'll be serving up OG Light as well. We are also entering into the final month of the OG pop-up shop. You want tank tops? You want the OG Light shirt? You're looking for the Richardson 112 trucker hat? You're looking for the OG Hat Vault golf hat? That might make an appearance on Wednesday when we're at Wyndham. All that goes away. All that goes away Labor Day. So go to ogtrianglemediashop.com. Again, that's ogtrianglemediashop.com. When the summer pop-up shop closes, that stuff goes away. Who knows when we'll bring them back? It goes into the Disney Vault. Maybe it comes back. Who is to say? Speaking of things that are going away, our flavor is about to go away this week.
It's heartbreaking.
So go to Two Roosters right now to take advantage of our salted peanut butter fudge.
I feel like one of those 60s bands that had one song, and we spent the month playing our hit, Achy Breaky Heart. What did play it 5 times?
I think so, yeah.
Played it the first 2 songs and like the last 3. Man, we've
So
Got a lot of mileage out of the Achy Breaky Heart.
So July 31st, the Two Roosters flavor goes away. Shout out to everybody who's gone to Two Roosters and they've posted on social media that the flavor is about that life.
Mhm.
It was my dad's birthday over the weekend.
Oh, I saw you.
He wanted the cake. We got the cake. It is you are
I
running.
haven't had it. So what is the crust? The Oreo crust?
So
Or is it a graham
It's an
cracker?
Oreo crust bottom.
Oh,
It's got the peanut butter base and the salted fudge ripple inside, and then the top is just nothing but Reese's Cups. It's like, it is decadent. It is delicious. So you're running out of time to order the cake if you haven't ordered the cake. So go to tworoosters.com. And again, shout out to everybody who's gone out and purchased this and posted on social media. I asked, I did not ask this. I went to the Greystone location to go get the cake.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, you're one of the podcasters, aren't you?" I go, "Yeah, we're the ones who came up with, we have this flavor." She's like, "This has easily been the one that's been selling the most." I was like, salute to all of you. So
advertising. There we go.
Go to Two Roosters. Go get the ice cream before it goes away. And then, honestly, call up Matt Davis right now at State Farm and
Okay.
suregarner.com.
That's always a good idea to call Matt.
919-779-8277.
But why this in particular?
Well, you call him, right? Like, call him today and be like, "Hey, man, I need to go to Two Roosters and buy up all the pints of ice cream before it goes away. But I got to budget this. I got to save a little money. Can you knock
help
off?
me?
Can you help me out here? Can you knock off some Hominata for me? Give me some savings here." He's gonna be like, "I got you." So call up Matt Davis today, insuregarner.com, or call him directly at 919-779-8277. Ben saw me in the OG Roback.
Yeah.
And he dubbed me Roback Ovias. I was like, like instead of Joe Ovias, Back
Nice.
Ovias. I'm like, I see you.
I see it.
I see you. The Roback might make an appearance on Wednesday at Wyndham. I might be golfed out, man.
Whoa.
I might even wear spikes.
Stay ready.
Stay ready, All-Stars. You never know when they might need me on the Pro-Am, man. You never know. Now, last time I saw my FootJoys, or whatever those shoes are called, or FootJoy, right?
I believe so, yeah.
The last time I saw those shoes, there's like the saddle shoe, right? The classic white with the brown saddle shoe.
Yeah.
Last time I saw them in the shed, I believe a mouse had taken residence in there.
Oh.
There was like something had nested in there. That's how long it's been since I've worn them. So I'm going to go in there and see if they're still around. Anyway, in the meantime, go get golfed out for the rest of the summer. The moisture wicking material is perfect for this time of the year because it is gross outside. You got to stay comfortable. You got to stay cool.
Stupid.
The shorts, the polos, all that's fantastic. They got shirts too, which are clutch right now. So go to roback.com, use that promo code OG20. I believe our Charlotte friends should be excited because they just dropped a new Charlotte print. So roback.com, use that promo code OG20. I mentioned OG Light, which I have to get an update on where it's available as we are running out of supply.
We just got to re-up at Peace Street.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I know where you can get it all the time. Shady's.
Mhm.
They got a keg of it at Shady's. And they also have the cans. Check out our friends Whitaker and Hamer, WH.lawyer. Again, that's WH.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. No speeding tickets on the way to or from Charlotte?
Next.
No. Did you
topic.
Did you have another moving violation?
Next topic.
Joe. I'm not riding with you to Greensboro.
Wednesday?
Yeah. Because I don't need another speeding ticket.
I didn't give you a speeding ticket.
Last time you and I rode together, you got pulled over.
That was like 3 years ago.
2 years ago. It's 2 years ago. Last year, I don't think we did because I drove.
Right.
So am I driving again? Am I driving you again on Wednesday?
Potentially.
Well, if you're like Joe and you need help with these types of things, go to WH.lawyer. Again, that's WH.lawyer. Also, big thanks to our friends at the Butcher's Market. Check them out online, thebutchersmarkets.com. Butcher's Market coming in clutch at my house this week. I got the frozen manicotti.
What?
Just put that in the oven for about an hour and a half. You're good to go. And of course, all the grilling stuff that you need as we get close to the start of the tailgating season. So go check them out. Go to thebutchersmarkets.com and get everything you need. Do we have ACC predicted order of finish yet? I have not seen an email. Do we know when that comes out?
I do not see it. I did not participate in the vote this year
because they kept blowing me up like, "Hey, you need to do the preseason poll." I'm like, man, we all know it's Clemson, right? We all know it's Clemson.
Yeah, it's not that. I just don't. There's so many new people. It would be a complete dart throw on pretty much every front.
I'm with you on that. So
I do not see anything from them that indicates that we have that information.
I guess the question would be, I have 3 questions. Question number 1, is Clemson going to be unanimous?
No.
Of course not.
It never works that way.
Which gets to question number 2. Who will be bold enough to give North Carolina a first place vote because of Bill Belichick in the schedule? Who will be brave? Who will be that dude?
Somebody always votes for Georgia Tech. Even I remember one year they were garbage and they got a vote, and I went to Brian Morrison and I'm like,
"Who
Brian,
did this?
What are we doing?" He's like, "What do you want me to do?"
People are going to vote the way they're going to.
Yeah,
the way they're going to want to vote. Specifically to Clemson,
SMU is going to get a vote.
Probably
Miami's going to get a vote.
Right. NC State's not getting any votes, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Although one thing about NC State coming out of kickoff, is that folks are starting to look at NC State and say, "Hey, wait a minute, maybe they're not going to be so bad." Now that they started to pay attention to NC State, I know you're making a face. You're kind of shaking your head. I think what they're looking at is what you usually check off the box for teams that might be a little bit better than you initially thought.
I think they'll be fine on offense.
That's the thing. Offense. Like, oh, they got CJ Bailey back. They got some dudes on offense. You're right. If with NC State, it's going to be cool. I kind of understand. That's why I asked Dave, are you comfortable winning games in ways that you're not comfortable winning? Because I feel like that's what you have to do this year, given the offense and what we know about the defense. I did not get the indication that Dave is comfortable winning that way. So it really is going to be make or break on how the defense steps up after last year's disappointment or mid version of itself last year, where they would want to have some of those results back.
I also think State's schedule is harder than people are giving that schedule credit for. And not in a, they always lose the Boston College, Wake Forest kind of way. I actually, there's only 2 games on their schedule that I feel lock solid about.
Okay.
Just 2.
So we sat down with Eric McLean at ACC Kickoff. You were fired up with Eric.
He was fired up with me. I'm making me seem like I'm the one taking the crazy pills.
So we brought one of our one-off hats, which should be available at the Rialto for the Sports Podcast
I'm working
Festival.
on getting him an orange one as well.
Okay,
white
nice.
with the orange.
Nice. We got an exclusive hat that will be available at the Sports Podcast Festival. So go get your tickets today, therialto.com. All right. Not stuff that's available on the OG Summer Pop-Up Shop. These are going to be available only at access to at the Sports Podcast Festival.
Yes.
August 23rd. So when Eric sat down, he was putting one of those hats on. It's almost like we drafted Eric and then we started talking about Clemson and things went off the rails pretty quick.
Did we just select Eric McLean?
Hey,
We did.
Happy to be here.
He put the Obies and Gilio hat on. Now we're talking.
It's like a UFC promo.
It's
now.
it's all about OG Light product placement, man.
Of course.
We got everything here.
Of course.
So Eric, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, dude. Just get right to it. Can Clemson be better than ACC Good this year? They were ACC Good last year.
They were.
Can they be better than ACC Good this year?
You know, it's funny. That's like the if there's a hang up at all, which I don't have one, I think they're really good. It's like, well, they did all that last year, and who'd they beat? You know, who they lost to, but who they beat. And so I think it's a fascinating thing. But I think the question is undoubtedly yes. I mean, they're so loaded at every position. I think, you know, we saw Cade Klubnik grow up immensely last year. We saw him become one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Now I think he is the best quarterback in the country. Well, now those receivers are growing up around him. And I mean, just dudes, right? Monsters.
Is Dabo? Do we not give Dabo enough credit?
Well, y'all might. I mean, I do.
No, it's just like let's think about it as we've been debating.
Think of how he's done it.
Wait, that's the thing. So if we think about the whole ACC Good stuff, right?
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Everybody's been screaming, "Well, you got to go out there in the portal. You got to go spend all this money." I don't want to call out Florida State, but we saw what happened with Florida State.
Sure.
And they spent money, didn't work out that way, right? But then you also have SMU who did the same thing. It succeeded for them, but we don't know. There's a variance there. Meanwhile, Clemson's just building. I think we forgot what it's like to build in college football.
Right. Yeah. Well, because few can do it, right?
Right.
I mean,
But
you have
Dabo's
to,
doing it.
There's so much turnover most places, and you have to go acquire talent quickly than sitting around waiting on high school.
Yeah.
But the machine that Clemson has still operates that way, and they still have those guys in the pipeline. Why you're seeing guys come to fruition now. So I think the biggest difference, like offense is going to be great, right? It's just who they're going to be. I think the biggest difference this year is going to be the defense. I think because of Tom Allen and who he is and schematically what he does, but also how he coaches, like getting down to tackling. As crazy as that sounds, tackling was a huge issue.
I mean,
at Clemson.
Are we not?
Where does that happen?
Are we not talking about Clemson in the college football playoff if it wasn't for a defensive breakdown against South Carolina?
Crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Well, they were in the playoff. I mean, they won the ACC.
No, what I'm getting at is more than 3, more than 2 is what I guess.
I got you.
So I misspoke. I misspoke because of that, because it kind of like jostled everything around.
Talk me through how they're loaded. Talk me through it a little bit.
Number
I
one
need to be
quarterback
sold.
in the country, number one defensive end in the country, number one wide receiver room by far in the country collectively, number one defensive tackle in the country. Bring up anyone. Who are you going to bring up?
Come on.
One guy at
Ohio
Ohio.
State?
One. Show me the stats, Joe. Don't. That's not an opinion. Show me the stats.
No. But like
collectively, they have the most returning production. In the world.
Yeah.
Okay. But go ahead. Who else? Name one other receiver on Ohio State's team. Go ahead.
No, the games are won by people who break plays and make plays.
One guy.
No, I know that.
One guy. They have 5.
Well, you're saying returning, but I'm saying they have a knack for producing other ones, is what I'm getting at.
One guy.
Returning that we know about.
Sure.
You know, we're betting
let's
on
be real.
We're
Let's be
betting
real.
on a little bit of a track record here that they're going to have guys who can make plays.
Sure.
Shit, State's got one of them. Right?
He left, right?
No, but what I'm getting at is I want to know who's going to break the plays for them.
Yeah.
I want to know, is it Wesco? Is it Moore? Is my boy Bronny Stool's back?
So it's TJ Moore.
And Maffa is back,
is
right?
Unbelievable. Maffa's not back.
Gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's the running back?
We don't need to run. Have y'all run the ball at NC State in 100 years? You don't have to run.
Buddy,
you don't have to run.
Do not beef down. This is not about
I'm
NC
beefing
State.
up. I'm not beefing down. I'm beefing down. I'm beefing up.
This is not about NC State. What I'm telling you is...
No, but you asked the question. You asked it like it was a crazy statement to say who are the
because
guys.
I see...
No, you cover the league. You know
I understand
who's
that,
there.
but I see
Yeah.
ESPN have like 5 or 6 Clemson players in the first round of the NFL draft, and I'm like, either I'm seriously out of touch, or Clemson is a shit ton better than I think they're going to be.
Well, so what do you think they're going to be? Are they going to win the league?
You don't want to know who I think is going to
Wait, who do you think's going to win the league?
Well,
right.
now I'm fascinated.
This changes week to week, by the way.
No, it doesn't.
does.
No, it doesn't.
Who's going to win the league?
You know, last year I was big on SMU. This
you
year
were.
I'm big on a different team.
I
Well, you
forgot
were
who-
wrong in that one. So who is it this year?
SMU.
They
really
lost.
close.
They lost.
Won all their regular season games.
But they lost.
They did lose to the Clemson Tigers.
So who's your team this
So
year?
we're going to know a lot about Clemson, though, right out the gate against Brian Kelly, aren't we? We're going
Of
to know
course.
more.
I mean, that's the fun part. Well,
But
maybe.
yeah,
Maybe, though,
I guess
because
what
I
I'm-
don't think we knew at Georgia. You know, because then you have
Ooh.
2 new guys who came in.
That's fair.
The very next week that changed the offense,
That's
right?
fair.
Like 2 freshmen that, you know, when you're able to take the top, I mean, it just changes offensively who you are. If you have a new component, which they should have played, and I've asked Coach Rick this.
This is
I've
about
asked
the
Eddie.
receivers?
I've
Okay.
asked Eddie Royal this, and Eddie Royal way back in the day they played number 1 USC first. He did not play. The very next week he's the starter for 3-4 straight years, and so there's something to not wanting to break those guys. So I think we will, because that is that caliber of game, and we heard the commissioner say it's 2 versus 6. I don't know if that's real yet or where he got that information, but it's a national championship caliber home game.
I guess-
in an opponent.
One thing that I'm actually being serious, and I want you to sell this to me in this sense. And here's one thing we always forget, because we see this in basketball all the time. A guy comes back for their sophomore year, and they're really fucking good. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I forgot that players are allowed to get better. So
Right.
maybe players get better.
Right.
Maybe that's part of the argument.
Sure.
The continuity, being in
Sure.
the system, having a full season. But the bottom line is the way that Clemson played last year against Georgia, against Texas, against South Carolina, did they win any of those games?
Well, Texas, I think they played great against.
But did they win
Texas-
any of those games?
How did they play those?
Did they win any of those games? Because you don't want to get into the, losses are good argument, because that's a different conference that wants to promote those things.
So how many passing touchdowns did Texas give up all year long?
And you're right. Clemson played well in that game.
Okay, so
lost.
they played well. Okay, so they did play well.
They
I
did.
was just wondering.
Yes.
Okay,
They
so
played
yeah,
well
I agree
against
with
South
you.
Carolina
I agree
too,
with you.
but you wanna
They did
win,
not
man.
play well against South Carolina. You and I could have made decisions in that game that would have changed the outcome of how that game was played.
That's
But
when you
I
want
think-
What I'm saying is the money was on the.
Let me tell you
years
this:
past,
if you're going against a 6'4", 240-pound quarterback, don't take out your best defensive player and put in a nickel back. Okay, that's how you get fired. I mean, it's crazy to see that.
in years past, when the money's on the table against Ohio State, against Alabama,
They win
Clemson
those
has
games.
won.
They win those games.
So what I'm getting at is the
How
money
did they
was on
get
the
back
table
to
last
that?
year.
Yeah.
They did not. And I think the answer is somewhere where what we're saying.
It is a fascinating thing.
These players that Dabo has so much faith in and confidence in, and that we were criticizing him for the previous year, in being that having that loyalty, whether it's stubborn or not,
That's the bet.
does it pay off
Does it
now?
pay off?
Does it
Right.
pay off
That's
now?
the bet. That's
Right.
been the bet.
Well, I mean, what does pay off? Do they have to win the Natty for it to pay off? Like,
Well, this
what
is
does
where we
the
get into.
payoff
So
mean?
that, I think that's actually it. That's why I started the conversation the way that it is, with the way we did with the ACC Good. I think it's you and I texted about this. I jokingly said, "So another Clemson ACC championship, ho hum, right?"
Right.
That's done. We're there. In a lot of ways, I kind of looked at Clemson football and what they've established with Dabo in the same way that we talk about Duke basketball. There's a different standard.
Right.
Oh, you won an ACC championship?
Right.
Hey, man.
Cool.
You got great talent.
Yeah.
You had Cooper Flag. Cool. That's
Right.
not why you brought Cooper Flag here.
Right.
That's not why you had that recruiting class. You're supposed to – they got to the Final Four, but they came up short. It is what it is. I kind of view Clemson football in the same boat. You're operating at a different level than the rest of the ACC. And you like to remind the ACC, the rest of the ACC. What do you like to call it, Joe?
Fuck you. We're still Clemson.
We're still Clemson. We see that plenty of times.
And
But
there
now-
better be a fuck you. We're still Clemson game
We
on
hope so.
October 4th.
We hope so.
Because if there's not, you people are in timeout
It's
with
bad.
Georgia.
It's bad. It's bad.
So I think what I'm asking, I think what Joe's getting at, is when will Clemson get back to the national? Hey guys, remember?
Right.
Remember.
Right.
And I think
that
that's where-
opportunity can be game one.
and we
right?
don't
I mean,
know. And,
Yeah.
and that's where it gets back to the bet and the way Dabo's been doing this.
For sure.
I'd give Dabo credit because a lot of people would just go, fine, I just got to get with what everybody else is doing. He's doubled down.
Yeah.
And
On who he is. And
on
what
who
he
he
does.
is, and that's fine. I respect that.
I think I
I've
agree.
always respected it about Dabo.
Yeah.
I can tell you who's rooting for Clemson in week 1.
Who's that?
Because you motherfuckers were responsible for LSU hiring Brian Kelly.
That is true.
From 2020.
That is true. That
So
is
they're
true.
like, please take us out.
Let us do
Please.
it. Let us do
Be
it.
the one. Complete the circle.
Yeah. No, I think it's it's an interesting thing, and you brought up running back earlier too. When you talk about Maffa being gone, I see a lot of talent there. I really do, and I think even at the running back position, if there's a position that is easiest to plug and play, to me, it's running back and defensive tackle. And so when you have guys like a Gideon Davidson that were the Virginia Player of the Year and is this big time running back, that he's going to be ready to go. And I don't know if he'll start. Adam Randall might start. We saw what he looked like in the one piece of sample size that we had.
Are Dabo's 28 kids off the roster yet, or is the
youngest is I
the
think
Make a
still
Wish
there.
program still going on with all the
walk-ons are going
Venables and
away.
all of the
They're going away.
Yeah, they're going
Walk-ons
away.
are
All
going
the
away.
Herb
So it's-
Streets and
I
all
know.
of
I know. It's tough. Because
All right,
those are fun when they
180
get in.
guys
When they
getting
get in and they
snaps.
catch passes, that's what you just said. That's the
Yeah.
FU thing.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
they're catching passes and scoring on you guys, that's the best.
So I think we finally got Eric to see where we were coming from there at the end when I brought up the Duke basketball analogy.
That was not exactly the Joe you were right I was expecting, because you remember
Yeah.
I had this conversation with him last year,
I know.
all year last year, even to the point where I told him that they were going to lose to South Carolina. I did not get an amen for the South Carolina loss. I did not get an amen that they were just Clemson good. Now, of course,
ACC Good.
of course, they had the fuck you. We're still Clemson. They beat SMU and
Yep.
Charlotte. You
Yep.
know?
Yep.
Especially after losing to South Carolina.
That's gonna happen again this year, which
Yes.
gets
when
back
they, when
to
they
the
go to Java.
That's when it gets to, oh, buddy. Dabo's really good. Like, oh, so 6-time Super Bowl champ. Guess what? We're still Clemson, though. That's known. The question is, can they do the FU we're still Clemson on the national level? That remains to be seen. And that was the whole premise of that conversation.
Yeah, they open with LSU, and of course they close with South Carolina, and both of those
Yeah.
SEC teams have designs on not only being in the playoff but winning national championship. So they're going to know right quick. I think within the league, though, the trip to Carolina, they play at Georgia Tech, Florida State, Louisville, SMU. So I actually think Clemson has a fairly competitive schedule. I do expect them to win the ACC again, but I mean, I've expected them to win the ACC since 2013.
We could get more of the same,
right?
Get more of the same. All right, we haven't done one of these in a while. We were busy in Charlotte last week for ACC kickoff, so it's time to get into the Joe Giglio social media dump. Let's see what we got. You probably don't even remember half of these. What do we have here? We got not a bluegrass version. Oh no.
This one was pretty good.
I
don't know what we're dancing to.
Is this Flo Rida? It might be Flo Rida. Let's see.
Favorite called Low. All right, it's the Cleverleys. Check them out tonight at the Paramount in Bristol. Here they are this afternoon on News 5 and 8.
How old is this?
1, 2, 3, 4. Shorty got them apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty got low.
It's good.
You know what? That's actually pretty damn
That's
good.
what I'm saying. The string has got me.
No, it was the dudes in the background going.
All right.
What else do we have? What else? More music. Well, hopefully YouTube does not flag us. If the Temptations roasted Detroit.
I feel like now that you've spent all this time in Detroit.
I spent one long weekend in October of 23.
Maybe I'm thinking of Gordon then. But either way.
Right. Should we save this for Gordon?
Yeah,
let's save it for Gordon.
There's a good tagline in there.
All right,
what that one. That's why that was appealing to me. There was a tagline that he used.
Okay, I got you. Tell you what, we will say next time we talk to Gordon. Shout out to Miller Lending, MillerLending.com/TOG. We will save this one for Gordon.
I'm thinking Thursday we will visit with Gordon.
Okay, that works. All right, let's see what else we have in the social media dump. Next on the, is that cash on a Roomba on a billiard table?
That is a Roomba. Yeah, they're betting on which ball the Roomba will knock in first. So you put money on a ball.
Okay.
And then you put your money on top of the Roomba.
Who do we know that has a pool table?
And again, this was included the tagline, would Giglio bet on this?
Okay, I have a question. Who do we know that has a pool table? Or who is willing to offer a pool table so that I can get my Roomba, we can put some cash on it, and we can do this.
Forward a little bit because it takes it. Like I've set up the premise. They're all betting. They get to pick a ball.
They're putting money on the Roomba.
And you're like looking at these balls like, wait a second. These balls are nowhere near the hole, or the ones that are near the hole are obviously going to be the ones that get knocked in first.
The Roomba,
right?
the Roomba is going to push them around. Remember? I don't have
a Roomba, so I'm not like familiar with how it works. But once he starts this thing, it goes on a wild ride that I was not quite prepared for.
So here's the thing: I had a Roomba. I then took advantage of an Amazon deal with another company called Eufy.
Okay.
I believe Anchor makes it. I have no idea. Anyway, the Roomba, it was an older model. It wasn't very bright. And I had to buy, because of course you do. You have to buy these little light sensing things that prevent it from going into areas.
Yes.
Now they've got newer ones with better sensing and stuff like that. The Eufy's a little bit better in that regard. It doesn't need the little light sensors to tell you what's going on. But damn it, if the Eufy doesn't love a cord, it seeks out cords.
So here we go. Now the thing is going in circles.
Okay,
and I'm what is it going to do?
So it's doing the circle. So the circle mode on the Roomba is just to it gets the sense of where am I in an open room before it finally runs into something. And then it starts to do its weird little programming. So yeah, it's going to hit the ball. All right. So yeah, we got to do this, right?
Yeah, wait till you see. You can turn the audio on because it really is like watching the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
It'll drown us out. That's why I don't have it on. You can
watch. This is the interesting part.
I just love. Okay, knock the ball in.
No.
Oh, it didn't. Oh man!
All right, it's like pushing it It doesn't
go in. Oh, because it needs more momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude with the glove is losing it over this. All right, we got to do this. All right, we got to find who. Look, I'm thinking this is a. You talk about off-season protocols. We just live stream it.
Yeah.
Get the because Shady's doesn't have a pool table, does it? No, they don't have a pool table.
Mm-mm.
All right, we're gonna have to find one, and we'll make an entire event out of it.
The yacht club's got a pool table.
Okay.
Johnson City.
Let's
Johnson
go.
Street Yacht Club.
You sent this from Better.
Oh.
Jokic's reaction to his horse winning versus the NBA Finals. Okay.
Pretty funny.
Let me see. Okay, so Jokic is running to is this harness racing?
It looks like it. And he goes,
Yeah, it's harness racing. So he goes and he hugs the jockey and the horse.
he's like crying.
He's in
got,
tears. He's
like,
running
very
through arms
emotional.
wide open, like Creed should be playing with arms wide open. And here's Jokic after
Literally after winning the NBA title.
Winning the NBA title.
Now you are an NBA champion, Nicola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
Because he wants to get back to his horses. What he truly loves.
We all have our own kink.
All right. You sent this to me. Alan Saunders. Oh, Cole Holcomb. I didn't realize Holcomb's with the Steelers. And that's right, because I know he was with Washington for a hot minute.
It's
ACC legend.
It's not only is it is it pro football training camp, but it's guys getting out of the parking lot and bringing their shit into the dorm to the point where I know you want an update on Aaron Rodgers, but oh no. Here's the 8th string linebacker who got a fucking haircut.
No, but you got to remember what Holcomb's whole deal was.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
He had the mullet. Oh, by the way, I haven't logged into Twitter in a hot minute and promoted Radical Roy Cooper.
DC.
I guess he finally announced that he's running for Senate.
He did.
So he didn't take our offer to join OG Media as our Canes podcaster.
He'll be our Washington correspondent.
So when they see the Capitals,
yeah,
we are scheduled to talk to Roy Cooper this week. Actually,
perfect.
Kind of upset at him for not taking our offer to become our 3rd member of OG Triangle Media. A little disappointed. So here's
we all have our things.
I know it's fine. It's fine. I respect it. Well, this will always be here for him. Now, so apparently Holcomb, he was Mr. Mullet, right? So this is on TikTok. This is back when he was in Washington. This was from a couple of years ago. And he was given his mullet hair care tips.
On the mullet.
Shampoo, conditioner. I try not to do it too much. Don't want to frizz it out. I got some leave-in conditioner that I'll throw in there. Got to comb it every day or else it'll start dreading up. It's kind of curly. So if I don't comb it out, it'll start dreading up.
So here's what I need an explanation. And somebody, because my kids did not follow this. I did not realize maybe there's a lot of Ben Folds 5 fans out there and they've listened to Army where Ben Folds sings, I got a mustache and a mullet and a job at Chick-fil-A, citing artistic differences. The band broke up in May. There's been an uptick. So I haven't seen Adams. So I was catching up with Adam Gold at ACC Kickoff and he brought Tanner. I haven't seen Tanner, his older son, in years. And Tanner looked like he just was transported out of 1983. He had a mustache and a mullet. I was like, did you roll up to ACC Kickoff in a Trans Am while you're at it? So he's like, "What, man?
Bitchin' Camaro.
It's the look, my wife likes it." I'm like, "All right, cool, man. That's all that matters, right?" How did we get here? Are we so far removed from that style that mustaches have truly made a comeback? I will always associate mustaches
for sure.
Mustaches are things my dad and my father-in-law, that's their look. But I guess it's skipped a couple of generations now that this new one coming up is all about bringing the mustache back.
I didn't know anyone in the 90s with a mustache.
Goatee,
they were
yes.
gone. Yes.
Goatee, yes. Yeah. In fact, I remember, so I was watching the Billy Joel documentary and you can tell the various styles. And I knew when we hit the 90s because Billy Joel was rocking that goatee, right?
I need to watch that.
I wasn't expecting anything new.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of new.
Okay.
Right down to the, let's bring out all my ex-wives and my current wife. That was interesting.
Even the one that took all his money? Or?
No, so that was the brother-in-law.
Okay.
And I thought they were going to gloss over it. They're like, yeah, we had a bad feeling about this. And the ex-wife said, you probably shouldn't go into business with my brother. Like she warned Billy.
Oh.
And then sure enough, that's where we are.
Well, there's a great lesson in Billy Joel, and hopefully he gave a PSA in the middle of it.
And that is,
don't ever sign over your power of attorney to anyone.
Never do that. You sent me this, not a drill. Oh, this is all, speaking of things that are on the comeback.
Oh, yeah.
Bills are bringing back the red helmets. Have you seen the creamsicle? Tampa Bay is bringing back full on creamsicle.
Oh,
which I'm kind of hype about. Good. You know what we need next? The Dolphins to go back to their original outfits. Enough with this modern looking dolphin. Bring back the old dolphin. If the Bills can go back to the red helmet, the Dolphins can go back to the original
that was
dolphin.
mostly for the, this is not a drill.
We are in peak that, aren't we?
It took me 20 minutes to figure out what are we not drilling? I forgot they had switched to white helmets. It's like, well, yeah, they used to have white helmets.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, they started wearing red helmets. And then at some point, they went back to white helmets.
Well, they're in pads this week, Joe. I saw that one of the Panthers accounts that I follow, that's just nothing but huffy face emojis about the Panthers.
Trumbull with the one-handed catch.
Yeah. So it's interesting you bring that up. And maybe we'll link up with one of our Panthers friends this week. There's been a push. Dan Patrick has done this. Nick Wright has done this. I think Mina Kimes has also done a PSA for this. And that, can we dial back training camp coverage? The genie's out of the bottle, man. Toothpaste is out of the tube. This is what the people want. They want piss missiles all over their timeline. They want to feel good about what's happening.
Ball's back. I just sent my wife the letter. We have 3 Sundays left.
All right, what do we got here? Julian Edelman, your nemesis, apparently.
Oh, I like this one.
Your nemesis.
You'll like this one too.
All right, Lost in Boston. You clearly get fed Boston algorithm stuff. All right.
Remember when you used to yell at us? Look, ass.
Oh, is this some sort of roast of Bill Belichick? Is that what this
I believe
is?
it was the roast of Tom Brady, where Edelman had a chance to use some of Belichick's favorite. Belichick is.
I got it. All right, here we go.
Trolls. The fucking kids down at Foxborough High can make that fucking play.
Oh, that was referenced at the breakout session for Belichick.
This is really good.
There was somebody from Foxborough High who's now in sports.
Oh, really?
And she like prefaced, they went to her and it's like, hey, such and such from whatever, Foxborough High class of whatever. And Bill chuckled and she brought up that whole thing of like, I can go down to this high school to make these catches. Well, can you do that now? Like that kind of stuff. I thought that was kind of amusing.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
Look, asshole. Foxborough High is the only job offer you fucking had.
No, you got to play the whole thing.
Why?
Because there's another good one in there.
Oh, I already closed up the tab. Sorry.
You're so annoying sometimes.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You know what I want you to do? I want you to do the 999. JJ Watt did it.
Oh, no, I can't do either one.
Went to a Brewers game.
9 hot dogs.
He did 9 hot dogs, 9 beers in less than 9 innings. Apparently, he did it in 5.5. 5.5.
Halfway through the 5th.
9 hot dogs.
Wait, what did the guy say? It's a bad.
9 hot dogs.
I love that. Could you do 999?
No.
You don't want to go out to the Wilson Warbirds?
I don't even think I can do 3.
Oh, come on, man. When the Wilson Warbirds fire up, let's go.
No.
All right, fine. Yeah, well, knowing your stomach, probably not the best idea, which might come up. It might come up in Hey Joe. Just saying. We mentioned Gordon. We're being serious. Contact him today. MillerLending.com/theOG or call him directly at 919-447-3377. You refinance or buy a home and finance with Miller Lending. Mention us like, hey, we're the reason, me and Joe are the reason why you're here to work with Miller Lending. You're going to get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket and a very special Roback gift basket from Joe Giglio.
You just have to email me. Let me know.
So just let us know and we'll add that to it. Here is why you want to refinance with Miller Lending. I actually saw a story recently about folks finding a situation where they have to tap into their 401ks because of emergency cash.
Yeah.
That is your retirement savings. That we've gotten to a very odd point if we're here. And I'm not judging it. I mean, we all have to make those decisions. But before you do something like that, explore all your options, including the equity in your home. And with no closing cost, you can utilize the equity in your home to consolidate debt and to a much lower rate than a credit card and go from there. And if the rates continue to come down, well, you can just refinance again with no closing costs associated with it. This also ties into buying a house as well. Right now, we seem to be moving into a buyer's market in that people are getting a little, like houses has been sitting on the market for a minute right now.
I got you.
And I mean, I see it in my neighborhood. I've seen some homes just kind of sitting there. And you might be holding off because you're thinking about interest rates. Well, I'm going to wait for the rates to come down. Well, consider this. When the rates come down, there could be a frenzy and it will shift back to a seller's market. If you buy now, finance with our friends at Miller Lending, and the rates do come down in 6 months, you'll be fine. And you got the house that you were looking for. Speaking of which, and who can better navigate this than anybody here on this program, is our friends at Hometown Realty. Check them out online at myhometownrealty or myhtr.com. Hometown Realty is going to help you buy and sell with confidence, especially when it comes to buying that home, new construction with incentives, and understanding where the market is right now and where it could be going in 6 months to better educate you on your decision. So go to myhtr.com. Again, that's myhtr.com. So you got that house. It's got this gorgeous backyard, but you just so happen to live in North Carolina where it is hell right now. And all this moisture, humidity, heat, man, it is prime bug time. You don't want that to get ruined. So you contact our friends at bugsbite.com. Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, they're going to help you get rid of those bugs, get on a nice action plan that keeps these things in check. It all starts with a visit to their website, bugsbite.com. Let's say you bought that house or you're in your house, you're happy with your house, but there's some things that need to be upgraded. The easiest thing that you can do to upgrade your house to make it just more wonderful is new blinds, new shades, automation, fixing that busted blind that you're like, I could like install a new one. No, you contact our friends at Bloomin' Blinds, 919-980-9815. I actually saw Chris. We were both working Walnut Creek on Saturday. When we say local, we mean local.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Chris is here in the triangle. You will see the Bloomin' Blinds truck. I was at Walnut Creek. The Bloomin' Blinds truck was there because he just came off a job and then he was slinging beer for the Junior Canes. I was there slinging beer for the Enlo marching band for the Baby.
Oh,
Shana Paul and Wiz Khalifa. That was an interesting crowd.
Nice.
On Saturday. Very interesting crowd. And I'm glad the youth recognize that Sean Paul has nothing but bangers. Nothing but bangers. I love Sean Paul. Brought me right back to when Kelly was in law school, hanging out at Sirens or whatever the place was. What was the place where there was a club in Durham that people used to hang out all the time, but that was like 20 some odd years ago. Satisfactions. Thank you. That was another one too. Anyway, Bloomin' Blinds, give them a call, 919-980-9815. You do 10 or more window treatments, you'll get 10% off. So contact them and let them know that we sent you. And of course, our friends at Happy and Hail, you can check them out online with their app. Download the app. It makes it super, super easy for you to order, pick up, and go.
Take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hail.
In fact, I'll be going to Happy and Hail after today's podcast to go get myself an Almond Brothers and power myself through the day as we get through some content and also just, locking in on golfers for Wednesday at the Wyndham.
Got to get ready.
Actually, I got to get ready for the potential of me and Josh Graham getting into an argument.
Nope, he's not going to be there.
No?
Nope.
I'm shocked.
He'll be there on Friday.
Why is he not going to be there Wednesday?
Long story.
What was the reason? Is it like Panther related or something?
No.
Okay, you can tell me later. I'm kind of sad because I was ready to fight him.
Okay.
Literally.
You can still fight him.
Yeah,
he's
maybe
just
I
not
will.
going to be there.
Maybe I will. So go to Happy and Hail. We're talking incredible salad. You can also get grains like quinoa. But the smoothies, just a quick pick me up and go. Fantastic stuff. So download the app today. Use that promo code OG25 to save 25% off your first order. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. Of course, we always go to the sports phone when we can. And folks, we appreciate you calling. We have not been going to the sports phone a lot. We've been busy with ACC kickoff and Joe not understanding how the sports phone works, all that kind of stuff.
I don't have access to the sports phone.
I can send you the MP3s. Anyway, let's go to the sports phone.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
Of course, the OG Sports Phone is brought to you by Nature's Relief. You can check them out online at naturesreliefhempstore.com. We'll be at Nature's Relief. We're going to be out in Garner, right?
Yeah, 821.
Very excited about that. So check them out, naturesreliefhempstore.com. I will be going to Nature's Relief Hemp Store this week because I am out of my sleep gummies, the CBDM. Clutch, absolutely clutch. So let's go to the sports phone.
Hey guys, with the discussions of the Mount Rushmores and the worst teams, the War Machines and all that, I think I have your next Mount Rushmore after listening to some of it. The Mount Rushmores of NC State, if, wouldas, and if we had. And you could put the Pac Pros in there. I'd love to see a trophy case and the banners hung up for all the what ifs and if we would have done. I think that'd be a 4-hour long podcast that might be the highlight of NC State athletics. Thanks.
Oh, Sean.
That was good. All right, he's got a point. To a 919.
Oh, you guys will probably never air this, but whatever. I got to get it off my...
What? Why would you think we wouldn't air it? The sports phone is there for you. Curse or don't, y'all. Okay, fine.
Oh, you guys will probably never air this, but whatever. I got to get it off my chest, even for you just to listen to. You guys had Jim Phillips on, and he says he has a picture of John Swafford in his office and talking about all the great work he did. I mean, really? John Swafford? On the great job he did? On the Raycom deal? And the ESPN deal that has set us back as a conference? Are you fucking kidding me? And how great of a job he did? Sure, might be a nice guy. I'm talking about work. I'm not talking about him as a person, whatever. But really? Are you kidding me? John Swafford as a great ACC commissioner? Good grief. I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, God, we are so fucked.
That call reminded me I should text my connect in Greensboro at Sedgefield to see if we can track down John Swafford at Wyndham on Wednesday during the Pro-Am. Chances of that happening?
Even if John delayed the end of the ACC by 30 years, isn't that 30 more years than you didn't have?
Yeah, look, I've said this multiple times as it relates to John. As far as the pictures are concerned, I think the proper context here is that Phillips says he's got pictures of previous ADs in the office as if it was the White House,
Commissioners. Yeah.
I'm sorry, commissioners that are sitting there like you would be in the White House, all the previous presidents, right? So that makes sense. That tracks. Look, man, I know Swafford brings out really, really strong opinions, but let's not act like that when they did the original grant of rights, 10 years ago, or whatever it was. 12 years ago.
It was 12.
It was 12 years ago?
2012.
Okay. That this wasn't something that was lauded and everybody was singing the praises of. And at the time, given the television stuff, it made a lot of sense. But as we illustrated at the beginning of the show, things change a lot quicker than you anticipate. All right, to a 704.
Guys, love your show. Discovered it about, 6 months ago. Love it. Lifelong ACC fan, Tar Heel fan. Just, you guys do a great job. However, I'm enjoying on YouTube a little bit of the ACC kickoff breakdown. I'm enjoying that episode. Seeing some of the guys come by and chat it up with you two and having a wonderful night. Getting ready to eat some chicken wings. And as I'm getting near the end of your episode, you're discussing the Airbnb you're staying at. One bed's too hard, one bed's too soft. And Obies, you said we're not switching because I already soiled my bed. What the fuck? Talk to you later.
Whoa. I said they've been soiled. I didn't say I soiled the bed. However, got a text from Hayes. Gilio, be a man and tell people you drank too much. People were concerned for you on Thursday's episode where you were dragging.
I wish I could tell you that I drank too much. I did not. I got some sort of food poisoning while I was in Charlotte because I'm still not right. So,
what did you eat? Where'd you go to dinner?
It's the hotel. It's whatever's at the hotel. It gets me every time.
Interesting.
Every time.
Did you have the fish?
That was like 2015. That happened to me there. Different hotel. So, telling you, it's every time.
So now you know why we didn't want to switch beds. Just saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. From a 336, every year Jim Phillips gets up at the ACC kickoff and sounds completely out of touch. Quote, I haven't had one student athlete come to me and say I want to be an employee. BS. You didn't talk to football players and basketball players from lower income families. What an insane comment. Look, man.
Yeah, Jim and I don't agree on everything. That's number one that we don't agree on. And we didn't have a chance to really hash out why he feels that way about their employment status. I think I have an idea, but yeah, we fundamentally are opposed on that. But
he's a true believer. I'll give him, I always give him that. He is true to his convictions when it comes to that kind of stuff. To a 619.
Morning, guys. Not sure if you're going to see this if you're still at the ACC thing, but just saw that Jackson Blake signed an 8-year extension. I'm starting to think that the Hurricanes strategy is not the one that we're all expecting. I know Ehlers was a big flash signing that you kind of make for win now moves, but with every move they're making, it feels like they're just trying to extend the window of being good or like very good for as long as possible. Because now you've got cornerstones locked in for like the next 5-6 years. Like your core is pretty much going to be here for 5-6 years. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to get better, hoping these guys develop and they can slowly like move up a couple points on the rating scale every year. I like it. I don't think it's going to be like the immediate splash impact you need, but I do think that there's a pretty good chance that if they keep playing like this, they'll get a cup or two in the next 10 years, which is, weird to say as a fan, but it just kind of seems like that's what they're doing. And I'm not exactly mad about it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think the Canes are telling you, appreciate the call, number one. Number two, the Canes have been pretty upfront about their whole MO under Tom Dundon, and that is to keep it. It's twofold. Be in contention every year to have a crack at it, because once you get in the playoffs, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You got to be there. You got to show up. For the longest time, for nearly 10 years, the Canes weren't showing up, and they were inconsistent in showing up. It just so happened that 2 of the times before their consistency, they had 2 cracks at the Stanley Cup, and they won 1 of them. They have not had a crack at the actual Stanley Cup in this run under Tom Dundon, but obviously you'd rather be in this mode than the other. That's my opinion. The other thing I would say is they're confident in identifying the talent and locking them into what will eventually be the gamble is that they will be team-friendly deals at the end. So they've got this core group that includes guys like Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov and things like that, that they can then go add and utilize the cap as a weapon to go get who they need to get. Now, as we kind of saw this offseason, just because you have a lot of cap space doesn't necessarily mean you're going to use it all, or you can win over certain free agents to bring them in. So there is a method to this, and that is ultimately to get in on the ground. Basically, it's the anti-Jerry Jones.
I was going to say, they did this with Slavin and Pesci early in their careers the first time around. That was obviously Ron Francis, but when you have players and you can control players, you're paying them a little bit more on the front end to try to save yourself on the back end. And that's actually a really smart strategy. It also makes players easier to trade.
That is true too, which who's to say? Somebody like Svechnikov doesn't get moved. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is all speculation.
Jackson Blake and Svechnikov are your prime candidates who would be moved if they're trying to get a number 2 center.
Yes. From Cameron, I need a pack of OG Light. Will it ever make its way to Charlotte? It did in the back of my car.
Yeah.
We are looking at distribution options for OG Light right now. It's very much a van needs to go somewhere to drop it off. I'm trying to get it in Durham if it's not already in Durham at Beer Study. I got to follow up with Whit over at Bond Brothers about that. So we're trying to get it as out there as much as possible. But tell you what, man, nothing brings a smile to our overworked media colleagues quite like me handing them a warm can of beer that's been sitting in the back of my car in the Hilton garage. I mean, Rod lit up. Young Connor was like, word. Adam Smith was like, for me? I go, yeah. Beard was, it's like, finally. And then I had to take one because I had to take, because I gave him 2 initially. And then I had to like, hey man, I need this one for Andrew Jones over at Tar Heel Illustrated. He goes, okay, because it's Andrew. I go, see, you got to spread the wealth, man. We got to spread the wealth. All right, we got time for one more.
I just downloaded the EA Sports football game on the Xbox. First video game I've played in like 2 years, and boy am I watched. It has passed me by. Wondering though if you guys have any insight on when the patch to get Hector Luna will come through, because surely that was not a Hector Luna coach team, because we fumbled the ball away 2 times in the last 3 minutes, tried to give the game away. But we got the Hector Luna thing right with the 13-7 final score, I think. But not really sure what was going on with the end of the game situation there. Let me know.
Hector Luna. Why does that sound familiar?
It's Bill Belichick's nom de guerre.
There are 2 coaches who opted out of college football 26 from EA Sports. One of them is Deion Sanders, although as of this recording, Deion Sanders might just be opting out of coaching college. We're supposed to get some sort of update today related to his health. Hopefully Deion's okay. I know he's been dealing with some health issues. Apparently he's having a press conference with his medical team to talk about what's going on. Be curious to see how that plays out. And then, yes, you have Hector Luna at UNC. Head coach, B+. Just a B+? If that's supposed to be a stand-in for Bill Belichick, I'd be mad. I'm just saying. Maybe he's a B+ because he didn't opt in to be Bill Belichick in the game. So, one other note, we got a couple of texts through the sports phone about Happy Gilmore 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have not watched Happy Gilmore 2.
I watched it on Friday.
I've also never seen Happy Gilmore 1. So I'm going to correct that today. And I'll give you my review Wednesday while we're at the golf tournament. I thought it was an appropriate time to talk about Happy Gilmore. Why are you giving me a face?
It does not surprise me.
Well, first and foremost, so there's 3 things going.
It's a movie about golf and Adam Sandler. Weird,
right?
That you didn't watch.
So it's got 3.
Why would you?
It's got 3 things going against it. It's got the original Happy Gilmore's got 3 things going against it. You're right. It's a sports movie. People know my stance on sports movies. I am not a sports movie connoisseur. I usually avoid sports movies. They all follow the same damn trope. Okay. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is that it's a sports movie about golf. So if it's not Caddyshack, I'm probably not going to watch it, right? Then you just hit on it. It's Adam Sandler. Never really been an Adam Sandler guy. Whoopity no. Not my thing. All right. And then number 3 is that Happy Gilmore is so ingrained into our age range pop culture references.
Yeah.
And clips have been shared and highlights have been used and people have said the things that I feel like I don't need to see it because I've basically heard or seen clips of everything I need to see.
Okay.
But since I've never seen it, the first Happy Gilmore, I need to watch the first one so I can get into the Happy Gilmore universe, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to understand the references that are going to be made in Happy Gilmore 2. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to pull a Gilio and go,
Watch them
hey,
backwards.
everybody's all really into this Avengers Endgame.
Watch them backwards.
You know, the culmination of 10 years of Marvel movies. I'm just going to watch that one. And you'd be like, what? Huh? Who? What?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that. I'm
Is
going to watch.
Loki still alive?
Hey, so
I thought they killed Loki.
So about these Star Wars movies, I'm just going to watch Return of the Jedi. I mean, there's 2 other movies you kind of need to watch. Not really. Oh, that's Dad? Oh, okay, cool. I had no idea. Nice.
So nice.
So they're
twins.
So they're twins. Cool. So you'll be really confused if you watch Return of the Jedi first and you go back and watch A New Hope and go, wait a minute. That looked a little bit more than just quote unquote for luck. Oh, and then she straight up makes out with him in Empire Strikes Back. Whoa. I know she was trying to get it hot, but you're kissing your brother, your twin. What's going on here? So that's what I'm going to do with Happy Gilmore. I'm going to follow the continuity so I understand what's going on.
Happy Gilmore 2 was a reason for Adam Sandler to get all of his kids a SAG card.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Netflix threw a ton of money at him for these comedies that haven't exactly hit.
I was going to say all of it, part of the money. Like he had a number of deals that he made.
Okay.
Number of movies. So
that's on my agenda tonight. I'm going to do a Happy Gilmore double feature at the Ovia's house. I'm very excited about this. We'll give you the review on Wednesday. See you then at the Wyndham.